Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is Afrispective, the youth perspective on everything that's happening in Africa this week. What's your name?
Oh, hey there. My name is Oluwayemisi O, and I'm so glad to be alive.
And I'm Musah. And I'm glad to be alive also. We're going to start off in Nigeria and then move, or actually we're going to start off in Ghana and then move off into Nigeria. So let's talk about Ghana. WHO rated Ghana the 7th dirtiest country in the world. Yuck.
So after Niger, Chad, and South Sudan,
yeah,
Ghana came 7th.
Yeah, and it sucks. So Collins Dauda, who's the local government minister, has had this to say when they heard the news. Let us help to educate our people on the need to imbibe sanitation practices from today, tomorrow, and any day in anybody's life. I mean, like, what is this? Like, why are we looking onto the citizens to clean their own place? I mean, that makes sense. But if you go to Accra and you look at go to Nima and you look at the sanitation problems, the piles of garbage, it's just unbelievable. Like, the government isn't doing anything about it, and they don't care because they're accepting it as a reality that, you know, these people live in garbage. And it's kind of, it's annoying. I
mean, it looks like now they're taking some initiative to start to combat those sanitation issues. Because, I mean, seventh is God's number, everybody.
Oh my God, that is a terrible point, and we're going to move on.
Okay, so...
Charles Antwi, 36-year-old guy who walked into a church, the church that John Mahama, the president of Ghana, you know, goes to every weekend. He walked in and he looked really suspicious. So the cops stopped him and basically went into his stuff, and they saw a pistol. And they asked him, like, why do you have a pistol in your pocket? What is this for? And he said, I'm going to kill the president. Thankfully, the president wasn't there. And, you know, he was like, you know, when I kill the president, I'm going to become the president. And, like, this guy has no political history whatsoever. So it's kind of weird. And then 2 days after, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Wow.
They really move quick with conviction in Ghana.
Yeah, they do. And it's kind of a problem. There's even this lawyer who basically petitioned to the Amnesty International to see to it that, you know, this guy gets due process, because people are saying that he's mentally ill, and I would agree with that, and I just like
it's quite all right. I mean, people, I guess it's interesting to compare this to Dylan Roof in the U.S. because the Charlestown killing happened, I think, probably almost a month ago, and now he's just being brought to court, and they're figuring out all that, the 30-something charges that he's facing. But I guess the common denominator is that people like to push out mental problems as the reason behind everyone wanting to assassinate somebody or actually going through with killing citizens.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Let's just move on.
Yeah, so all these rankings aside, I trust that Ghana will once again rise in splendor. I'm not worried for your country. But while some are after John Mahama, Buhari is in the clear for scoring a visit to the United States. And also a bedroom in Blair House, which is the official guest quarters of President Obama. So during his visit, he met with Secretary of State John Kerry, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and he also made all these public addresses at the Chamber of Commerce, the Nigerian Embassy, and the United States Institute of Peace. Yeah,
and at the Nigerian Embassy, we were there. We were part of the diaspora that wasn't allowed in, even though we had invitations. And if you take a look at this video over here.
Here's a couple videos for you of our experience there.
And I drove from New Jersey to here just to come and see everybody around. I'm really happy to see all Africans, not only Nigerians, Africans who are celebrating with us. The election of General Buhari, President Muhammad Buhari, and to just wish him the best. And so I'm happy, even though I'm not inside, but I'm just glad I've got a glimpse of him. And the hope is alive. We're going to just hope for the best. You know.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, I'm from New York, right? Yes. I came all the way from New York. It was never said that they were going to use the invitation, right? And it was never said it was going to be done online.
Yeah, they didn't let you know.
They didn't let us know.
Okay.
But my thing is that Mandela came here. Mandela was for everybody.
Yes.
And Mandela went to Boys and Girls High School in New York, where they had an open field event for everybody, and they were able to listen to what Mandela has to say. And this president should be the same way. Buhari should be the same way. Yes. You don't control people that come to see the president. Yes. We voted for him overwhelmingly. Yes. All right. So Adefuye, or whatever they call himself, or that professor, the so-called professor, I know was appointed by Jonathan. Yeah, but this is the thing. This is the thing, right? You rent an event hall, right, or banquet hall, yes, right, or open stage, yes, right, whereby people will be allowed to come in and see the president. Very right. You know, so you don't control this kind of situation. Yes. You allow people to come and see their president. We are Nigerians at diaspora. Yes. We send several billions of dollars to Nigeria, yes, to keep our people alive during the period of that kleptocracy that we had before. All right. So I'm not very happy with the situation right now, because we Nigerian diaspora, we should be allowed to see our president. Yes, sir. All right. We have every right to see the president. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Mohammed Idris. Now I live at Lawrence. I'll be here since 2 o'clock.
Okay. Since 3 o'clock you
2 o'clock, 2.
At the embassy?
Yes. I came to the embassy this morning.
Okay.
And they said that maybe after 4, yes, they will allow those who are here to come.
So you've been standing with this package
here? Yes, sir. I will take it to Abuja. Don't worry yourself.
So sorry.
Now, Buhari has told us he is for all. It's for nobody. Yes. And it's going to be very sad if they allow him to pass here and he sees us like this. Yes. Anybody, any Nigerian in America says he's enjoying, is underrating himself. Yes. You understand? Yes. The only thing I know is that this world belongs to nobody. Everybody is going to die, whether you are rich, poor, or this. It is inhuman for Nigerians to be outside here.
The sun.
Yes. Professor Adefuye, he knows me very well. Yes. You understand? The professor, he knows me very well. I'm an Ijebu man from Ijebu. Yes, he is from Ijebu. We are very close. I know him. Yes. The Oba of his hometown is my classmate in the college. What I've suffered here is part of my sovereign in America. All I will advise, yes, is that Buhari should make every Nigerian comfortable. It belongs to everybody, belongs to nobody. Thank you very much.
Support the newly elected President Muhammad Buhari. He has fought a long battle, and I'm happy for him. Even though we were told that the space is full for every one of us to get in, but it's still okay. We love him, and we wish him all the best. We pray that God will give him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to rule Nigeria to the next level, because Nigeria is overdue for a change, and we can see that change coming. And as we continue to pray for him, Nigeria will be transformed, even to the next level. We indulge all the officials that will be elected to work with him and to do what is right. It's all about doing what is right these days, not what individual.
Let's go. All right. Good evening, sir. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. Benga Kinagbe.
Wonderful. So you're standing out here with all these people?
I am.
Could you explain why?
I was invited tonight to see the president.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm here to see the president.
Who invited you?
A friend of mine.
A friend of yours?
Yeah.
Okay, can you name names or no?
Who are you with?
Who am I with? I work with SaharaTV.
Sahara,
yeah,
okay.
SaharaTV.
Those are my peoples.
Yeah, in fact, do you read us?
No.
No?
No.
You should. Yeah, or you should at least go watch this video of yourself.
Yeah.
When the day is over.
All right, I might do that.
So you had an invitation to this event. And how do you feel? We're all sweating out here under these trees, under the sun.
It's like Niger?
Yeah, basically, right? With the mosquitoes and everything. Yeah. So what would you recommend that we do? What are you going to do?
I'm placing some phone calls.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go have some Mexican food.
Yes, with
my friend.
With your friend.
My other friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I see. Wonderful. Is there anything you want to say to the president about this situation right here?
No, actually, I don't think this is his fault. I'm not a big fan of politicians in general, whether it's the United States or the U.S., but I'm also not quick to blame politicians for things that, aren't their fault. It's the fact that we're out here right now, I think it's more a matter of bureaucracy and protocol, and I don't even think he knows or realizes it. They put him in a car. You have to be here at this time and say and moved on. So I don't think it's your fault.
Yes.
But don't worry, I got a long list of other things.
Okay, I see. Wait, so if you had to point a finger, is there anyone you would point a finger to blame? Any organizations, any people?
As far as why we're all out here?
Why we're out here? Why people with invitations aren't able to get into something they registered for?
I think it's a combination of things. I think a number of us got here later than we were told to.
Okay.
And they should have a protocol for those people to be able to enter if you're invited, if you're checked off, whatever.
Okay.
So it's a combination of things. It's not solely their fault. It's like a number of us showed up late.
Okay, that's true. How long do you think you'll stay before you leave?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, and he says
really
he belongs to everybody and belongs to no one.
I mean, that's his jingle.
It's a logical
if y'all
fallacy.
Didn't know. Yeah, it is a logical fallacy.
Truly a logical fallacy.
You're right, and I think a good example of why that statement might be a little bit illogical is his speech that he gave at the United States Institute of Peace. And there he made some very interesting and peculiar statements about the Niger Delta.
Yeah, he was asked about, whether the Niger Delta, what he's going to do about the Niger Delta, because it wasn't talked about that much. And he said, basically, in a constituency that only voted 5% for me, what am I going to do in the light of that? And he also said, as opposed to constituencies that voted for me 95%,
yeah,
I'm going to tend to them more, and their local governments will take care of them. And that just really struck me.
But he's a conscious leader, because he said that, and then I think this light bulb went off in his head, and he was like, oh no, that should not be publicized. Let me move on really quickly and say this "I belong to everybody" statement. But I think it's very, very important for the whole world to recognize that he said he would basically show a little bit of favoritism to the people who voted for him, that 97 or 95%.
Which are the people in the north and the people who are Hausa. And you're seeing a lot of, people that are Hausa getting nominated for all of these seats and military chieftaincies. And, it's very alarming, and it's something that we need to keep an eye on as the Muhammadu Buhari presidency goes on.
Continues, yes. But he did say that what saves the people who only gave him 5% of their votes was the Constitution, and that he is bound by the Constitution to do the best that he can for everybody. But we will see. Stay tuned. Check out Buhari. This is Buhari Watch, or that's our job, is to make sure that he stays in line and on the right track.
Yeah, very much so.
So something else that he talked about during that speech was the Leahy Law, and how the blanket application of the Leahy Law denies Nigeria's right to pursue Boko Haram insurgency.
Yeah, the Leahy Law is basically a way for the United States to check on human rights that, people that they're dealing with in countries that, they're, dealing with in terms of arms and military funds. So basically, President Buhari showed his dislike for the Leahy Law, saying that, the Boko Haram aids and abets, is aided and abetted by the Leahy Law, because the Nigerian military has human rights violations that are against them. It was very interesting. I talked to Laura Lumpy, who is a senior policy analyst in DC, and she said it's completely wrong. Some of the Leahy Law prohibits some kind of funding, but other fundings are free.
Made available.
So it's interesting to hear that there may be a misunderstanding with Mr. Buhari.
I think that's evident in the press release issued by Senator Leahy's office this week, and it claimed that Nigeria's abusive conduct not only violates the laws of war, it creates fear and loathing among the Nigerian people, whose support is necessary to defeat a terrorist group like Boko Haram.
Yep.
So basically, Senator Leahy pulled out all the stops, and he was like, whoa, Buhari, you need to check your country, and you didn't make sure that you understand what this law or this amendment means. One, because it's named after him, but two, because he wanted to make sure Buhari had all his facts right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're moving on?
Yes, we are.
To toy and turkey.
Yeah, no, before we get there,
Oh, okay.
let's talk, it's still, you know, about the trip to the United States.
That's true.
And so right after Buhari left, Obama also left for a 5-day trip to Ethiopia and Kenya.
That's right.
And so the first thing he did, or early on, the first couple of days, he made this rousing speech about the dignity that's inherent in all African citizens. And he also chastised African leaders. So that would be Museveni in Uganda, Nkurunziza in Burundi, Mugabe in Zimbabwe, and Kagame in Rwanda.
Yep. And the Ethiopian Prime Minister.
Oh, yeah. So the reason he chastised these leaders was because they haven't been adhering to their term limits. And so that's really an issue because some of these leaders have been in power for almost 20-something years. Yep. Some of them should only be in power for 2 terms, but they're going on 3 terms, and that would be Pierre Nkurunziza in Burundi.
Yeah, no, I really loved what he said in terms of term limits. And, you know, this is the first time an American president is speaking to the African Union. So this was very important that he, you know, expressed his feelings on term limits. I love the fact that he said, you know, even though I'm in my 2nd term, I'm a young guy, I can run America, I'd probably win a 3rd term, but it's not the best thing for the democracy.
Definitely.
And like, you know, it's all about, you know, moving your country forward. It's not
and knowing when to step aside.
Yeah, knowing when to step aside and putting confidence in the people that they will pick the right person.
That's so true.
And that's what democracy is all about.
Yeah. So Obama, he made some good statements, but what he didn't do was secure a human right commitment from Ethiopia. So Obama's visit basically legitimized oppressive governments in the African continent. And so Ethiopia is at the top of the list for countries who don't respect the freedom of journalists. So in this past year, I think actually in the spring, it forced out 34 journalists into exile.
Well, to be fair, he did mention the fact that journalists are being jailed in Ethiopia, and I think that needs to be like, you know, we should at least mention that. But, you know, there were no concrete human rights commitments made. And, you know,
I don't know. So something.
It's difficult.
No.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
So what you're saying, I see what you're saying, but something people don't talk about is the anti-terror proclamation of 2009 that exists in Ethiopia, and basically it criminalizes dissent of the citizens. So what if someone just came and like slapped a piece of tape on your mouth, changed you down because you had an objection to a law, to the way things were running?
The reason why I say it's difficult is because President Obama doesn't have jurisdiction of what happens in Ethiopia.
Understood, but he has influence.
Yeah, but he, you know, President Obama also said in the speech that the governments like Ethiopia started out as monarchies and dictatorships, and they're trying to learn the administrations and you know the establishment is trying to learn how to become an actual society that can be considered a democracy, and that takes time. And it's crazy because the Ethiopian president surprised a lot of people, a lot of his spokesmen, by saying that, you know, we need to reevaluate our democracy. So to say that Obama's visit didn't make any impact
was maybe pointless.
It wasn't pointless. I don't think it was pointless.
Okay.
It made some kind of impact and influenced, you know, the African Union in some sort of way.
Okay.
We're yet to see what it is. We didn't see any immediate impact, but we should wait and see what
I think
will
that
happen
for
in
me, the
future.
bottom line is that human rights in Ethiopia are being absolutely decimated. And I can quote John Smith on that, who's part of the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights group.
That's true. That's true. let's move on.
Yeah, let's. Please.
Gosh,
lead the way,
a little awkward out
Mohammed.
here. Okay, well, so let's move on to Toyin Saraki.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Toyin Saraki is the wife of Bukola Saraki, Senate President, former governor of Kwara State. And he's recently been probed by the EFCC for money laundering, you know, a lot of the funds that were meant for the people of Kwara State. You know, like you know, like using different names for deposits and things like this.
Forging
all these terrible things
over and over again. And so the EFCC brought in Toyin Saraki, his wife, for questioning for directly being related implicitly, directly and indirectly being related to the multi-billion naira laundering that they as a family have done. Yeah,
and you know, Toyin Saraki comes in with the most humongous pearls that I've seen in a long time, and a very big smile.
Bigger than these, my friend. Way bigger than these.
No, yeah, seriously. And a very big smile, and all these senators, like 5 senators, including Mr. Dino Malaye.
Oh, that guy.
Expecting that nothing, that she's going to be fine. And this gets on my nerves. Every time a politician walks into the EFCC, we see this smirk that, you know, makes me feel like they're not guilty. And it's just terrible. Mr. Dino Malaye accompanying her, an anti-corruption senator.
Okay, I think we have to explain a few things to our viewers. So he claims he's anti-corruption, but he's being seen on social media just flaunting his wealth. So on Twitter, there was this picture of him, this casual selfie of him posing with a Lamborghini with the license plate number Dino 2. So I suspect there's another Lamborghini that's part of his collection.
I wonder where Dino 1 is.
Right?
I wonder what Dino 1 is.
Yeah, what might that be?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, you know, like, just looking at all of the wealth that he's amassed. SaharaReporters.com has recently outed some pictures of the newly, you know, renovated house.
Mansion.
$6.5 million.
I don't think it's a house. It's more of a
mansion. Yes.
No.
$6.5 million.
These are the levels. House, mansion, palace. Dino Malai has a palace, if you didn't know. And what's the address again, Mohammed?
Oh, it's 11 Sangas Street off Mississippi Street in Abuja.
Yeah.
Everyone, 11 Sangas Street off Mississippi Street. People, wait outside of his mansion and ask him, where is this money from?
Question this anti-crusader. Please, please. If that's the only thing you take away from this, just go take a visit to Dino's house and ask him a couple questions for our sake and for Nigeria's sake.
Yes, for Africa's sake, really. So we're going to wrap up with Major General Olukolade, who was fired from his spot as the spokesperson for the military. And I'm just going to read off some tweets that he's given to us. Oh,
to enjoy.
Miss you.
Yeah.
Welcome, our friends from Niger. No way for your infamous looting here. Niger, who is helping Nigeria in the fight against Boko Haram. No way for your infamous looting here. How the poor country compensates its soldiers and claim they don't run. But nobody will disrespect my mother. And that was the spokesperson.
Do we know what he's saying?
Of the military.
Do we know what he means?
So bye, Felicia.
Bye, Dino. I think what he meant to say.
Bye, Dino.
Bye,